What if everything you thought you knew about the anime Frieren is about to change? What if Himmel, the hero of the people, is in reality still alive? What if his death was a well thought out and strategic ruse? And what exactly would happen if Frieren, after all these years, is finally reunited with Himmel, the person she regretted not cherishing enough time with? Stick around because you won't want to miss a single moment. First, let's talk about why Himmel proved to be a powerful character in the anime, even after his death, and years ago. Himmel was more than just a hero who defeated the Demon King along with his party. He was actually the heart and soul of his party. Himmel acted like a glue in his party, encouraging them with his bravery and positive outlook toward life, not to mention his kindness. This dude had been inspiring everyone around him, including Frieren, who was ridiculously oblivious about it at the time. Himmel's job was not only to destroy evil from the world, but also to bring hope and bravery to it. Throughout their journey, we saw Himmel not only as a figure of strength, but as someone who valued the lives of others, which left a lasting impact on Frieren, which is why she came to understand how stupid she'd been during Himmel's life. She wished he were still alive so she could spend more time with him. But would it happen if Himmel was actually alive in the current timeline? You see, we could talk about some wild possibilities of how Himmel would come to life after all those years. One possibility is that Himmel never died. He might have been put in deep slumber using some ancient, powerful magic, basically preserving himself. And who would be the culprit behind this powerful magic? None other than Frieren. I mean, who else should be capable of such a strong spell that puts you in an ageless sleep? Another fun possibility could involve resurrection magic. Maybe, just maybe, Frieren has come across a forgotten spell or artifact during her travels that could bring Himmel back to life. Himmel could return, but with a catch. He comes back with some slight differences, like enhanced powers or a quirky new personality trait. Frieren would definitely be overjoyed to reunite with her past party member, the one she realized she cherished so much. The real Himmel might still be out there. This would open the door to all sorts of mind-bending scenarios where Himmel has been watching over Frieren and her new party all along, subtly guiding them through their adventures without revealing his presence. Himmel's death could just be a grand illusion. It might be orchestrated by some strong mages for unknown reasons. Maybe Frieren would not be able to see through the spell at that time. Over the years, she might uncover clues that hint at Himmel being alive, hidden away somewhere in the world, kept safe by magic. There are just many possibilities where we could keep Himmel alive in order to see how his presence impacts the storyline. You see, Frieren had always been the one who was left behind. She had seen many people come and go, but Himmel's death hit her the hardest. That's why, even after years of his passing, Himmel's memory haunted Frieren's thoughts. Also, there was one thing that she couldn't shake off. It was an itch at the back of her mind, an itch to go to the end of the world that Himmel had once talked about. Let's just imagine that she sets out on a journey to the ends of the earth, searching for a place beyond life where perhaps she could see him one last time in the world of the dead. As she passes through ancient roads and forgotten lands, she feels unsettled by something. She's already faced so much, so why does she feel so weird? She told herself it was because she needed closure to see Himmel again, even in the afterlife. But as her journey progressed, something began to feel off. When she finally arrives at what is believed to be the edge of the world, she prepares herself to see Himmel one last time, in whatever form it might be in. But he wasn't there. No trace, nothing, just silence. Suddenly a thought crosses her mind. What if Himmel was alive all this time? At this point, Frieren would think that Himmel might have faked his death all those years ago. But why would he do that? What purpose could it serve? Her memories of him, his warmth, and the genuine love he had for their comrades didn't align with someone who would deceive them so profoundly. Now, finding Himmel would be Frieren's new goal. This would be a new adventure that she could take up, one that's going to be unpredictable and full of new challenges. Himmel could be anywhere, perhaps hidden in some remote part of the world, or maybe living under a different identity. She definitely needs Fern and Stark's help to find her long-lost companion, and they would be more than happy to help her. Why? Because they would also like to meet Himmel, a person someone Frieren admired so much. Frieren's first step would be to revisit all those places that had meaning for Himmel. They would be ranging from sites from their legendary quest to defeat the Demon King, to towns they had saved and regions they had passed through. Now each location will be full of memories, and as soon as she takes some steps back, Frieren would actually see everything in a new light, questioning whether she overlooked some clues that Himmel left before. It would be a moment of tension, since this is something completely new to her. As soon as she begins searching for Himmel, she would encounter many different individuals who have already helped Himmel while he was in hiding. From some of the oldest allies to new individuals, these people would keep Himmel's secret and tape their mouths shut forever. Frieren would simply have an idea that there's something odd about these people, and with each encounter, she would find newer clues that would potentially lead her to Himmel's location. It would be like puzzle solving before finding Himmel, because that's just what makes sense with his whole vibe. During these tense moments, Frieren would actually ask herself this question a lot of times. Why did Himmel decide to hide from the whole world? Did he see something that forced him to never come back to them and disappear completely? Or was the kind guy just protecting someone or something so unique that it forced him to disappear? This would also be a time where Frieren would break down a couple times, trying desperately to find Himmel. In those moments, she would also panic, thinking that something bad had happened to him. That's where things would get pretty interesting. She would run into one of the oldest comrades named Aizen, who's a dwarf warrior, and this guy would be the first person to help her investigate this tough rough landscape. Moving forward with the kind dwarf, she would discover new sides of Himmel that she herself didn't know, from visiting old battlefields in the Lost Ruins to getting some of the most interesting stories of Himmel's lifespan. Aizen would become that one kind uncle to Frieren, who helps his daughter. Other members of the old heroes party, as well as newer allies Frieren has made, would join her on this journey, deepening the emotional connections from the past and building new bonds of trust. Additionally, Frieren would encounter old legendary figures, maybe retired adventurers, or even enemies who once fought against them. They would also give Frieren some clues about Himmel's whereabouts. As an elf skilled in ancient and forgotten magic, Frieren would likely rely on her abilities to help track down Himmel. She could use old detection spells to search for traces of his magical energy or spiritual presence that might still remain. This magic could lead her to surprising places, hidden lands, abandoned temples, or even alternate dimensions where Himmel might be hiding. While magic would be her greatest asset, it could also be risky, as the deeper she dives into powerful spells, the more she might attract dark forces trying to stop her. Ultimately, Frieren would find Himmel in a place no one would have expected. It might be an ancient land or a forgotten sanctuary that had been lost to history. When they finally meet, the encounter will be filled with emotion. Frieren, the usually stoic elf who rarely shows her feelings, would find herself face to face with the man who had shaped her life all those years ago. Himmel, now older and weighed down by the passage of time, would owe her answers. Why did he fake his death? What secret had he been keeping all these years? And why had he left behind the friends and comrades who cared so much about him? Their reunion would be the start of a new chapter. Himmel's disappearance wouldn't just be a personal decision. It would be connected to a looming threat the world had yet to face. Whether it was an ancient evil returning or something even the Demon King feared, Himmel had been preparing for this moment. He had waited for Frieren to find him so they could face it together. With this, Frieren and Himmel would set out to find a new adventure, blending their past with an uncertain future. Along the way, they would reunite with old friends and meet new allies, preparing for the challenges ahead. The bond between Frieren and Himmel, once thought lost to death, would be renewed in this new quest, testing their friendship and trust in ways they never expected. What did you think of this story? Do you like it? Be sure to like and subscribe, and ring the notification bell for more videos about anime theories. See you next time!